Thanksgiving is, of course, coming up on Thursday, and a La Crosse man has a lot to be thankful for this year. In fact, by many accounts, he shouldn't be here at all, and it's led to the nickname Miracle Man. Since he was just 8 years old, Brian Kanable of La Crosse has been a water skier.
I love it. I love the sport.
Now 53, he's found a new way to enjoy it. It started after a friend approached him at church one Sunday about 15 years ago.
He's like, hey, you water ski? I said, yeah, love water skiing. And he said, well, we get together in the morning and we ski at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Almost every weekday since, bright and early during the summer months, you'll find Brian and 2 others carving water out on the Black River.
One's spotter, one's driver. They're all safety conscious. And so we do at least three runs a morning.
August 25th of this year started out like any other morning.
I started skiing that morning first because I was actually fasted and was supposed to have a physical that morning, ironically. Jumped in the water and started skiing and got down to the interstate bridge. And John said to Ken, he said, there's something wrong. He doesn't look right in his face. And we skied so long, we know what each one looks like. And as soon as he said that, then I just basically relaxed and let go of the handle and was in the water.
With his life jacket still on, Brian was floating face down in the river.
John was a spotter. He was fully in the vest. Easy, fast to jump in the water. Got back to me and was able then to turn me over, get my face up so we could not be sucking any more water. Loaded me in with the ski on. They knew time was a factor.
Calling 911 from the boat, they raced toward shore. Brian was lifeless and turning blue. He was having a massive heart attack. Paramedics from Tri-State Ambulance were waiting at the dock.
So they were able to really instantaneously start doing compressions on me, being able to give the drugs that you need to try to, bring your heart back, and then shocked me 4 times.
Rescuers were able to get a pulse and blood pressure, but time was not on their side.
When he came to us, he did have a pulse, which is good, but he was very unstable, meaning his blood pressure and his heart rate were really all over the place.
Brian's wife, Julie, got a call at home from a police officer.
Since he'd been fasting, and I know that his side of the family has this tendency to just faint, I didn't really think too much of it. and I thought, well, I'll better get down there. Well, when I got there, that was a whole different story to try and deal with as far emotionally and everything.
Because of something called STEMI Fast Track Protocol,
time is hard. The longer you wait, the worse things get.
Brian was able to go almost immediately into the cardiac cath lab so doctors could open up his arteries as quickly as possible, minimizing heart damage.
He had multiple blocked arteries and multiple coronary distributions, and he was a very sick man.
The first day I came in, they did 5 stents. Had a lot of blockage in my heart.
Doctors were able to open up his arteries and stabilize him, but he was nowhere near being out of the woods.
Collapsing in the water in the middle of the Mississippi complicates things. He had other organ damage, specifically to his lungs and his kidneys.
Brian was in an induced coma for about 2 weeks. It was touch and go.
It was very much an emotional roller coaster.
When he finally woke up,
where the heck am I? How do I go from water skiing in the Black River to laying in a, intensive care unit for this many days?
He didn't remember anything all the way back to 9 days before his heart attack.
From the time I had the heart attack on the 25th, I would say that where I could actually recognize someone totally, it was 2 solid weeks.
Nearly 2 weeks after the first 5 stents, doctors had to put in another 5.
So he is the proud owner of 10 stents.
But remarkably, after 16 days in intensive care, near death, he walked away with only some temporary cognitive delays.
I think that's why they call me the Miracle Man, is that I didn't have heart damage. My heart...
muscle damage.
Muscle damage is what I'm talking about. I didn't have any. From where I'm at mentally, I'm going to get back to where I was, which is pretty amazing considering what happened.
Even the nurses and doctors who treated Brian couldn't believe their eyes when he returned to the hospital a healed man.
When I saw him, he came by to say hi to me, and couldn't believe it was him. I had to look at him twice, and I was like, is that really you, Brian? And he's like, yep.
I mean, truly, he's amazing. I think he's inspiring for us. I mean, a lot of the times you want to count people out and you think, there's no way somebody's going to come back from this, and then you got a guy like him that comes walking in. You know, it's inspiring.
Brian is now undergoing cardiac rehab to get back his heart strength and proving once again that nothing's going to keep him down.
I want to get back to the lifestyle I had. I'm ready to go.
So as you can imagine, a lot of teamwork, a lot of people were in the right spot at the right time to save Brian, and everyone kind of knew their role. And he says also that he had a really positive attitude, and everyone else around him said that too, that his attitude was just so positive that it helped him get into the recovery a lot quicker.
You think of all the things that could have gone wrong on
yeah.
that day to not make this happen, but you know, a lot of times they'll talk about, you usually have some kind of warning sign so you know something's happening. So what did he experience?
Well, that's interesting because he didn't really have many warning signs, the typical warning signs that people have when they're about to have a heart attack. He didn't have those. He does have a strong family history, though, of heart problems in his family, so they think that was what played the role.
All right, well, thank goodness it all turned out the way it did, and I hope he has a wonderful Thanksgiving with
I bet
his
he
family,
will,
too.
yeah, absolutely.